Hi, I'm Dana, and we're taking a relaxed tone for this video because I've had a hard life at this point. Oh, and I've sworn in the intro, but I've had a rough like 2 weeks for no reason, and I deal with things better when I feel like I have a reason. Like when I have the thing that's going wrong, I have the thing that's going wrong. I can deal with it. But the last like 2 weeks, I made the whole video about my period. It hasn't happened, didn't arrive. It's just super late. I assume I'm going to give birth to Jesus in 9 months. It just hasn't happened. But I had all the symptoms of it, so I'm pretty sure it is just that more than like a mental health spiral or anything like actually happening to me. But I've just been a bit emotionally fragile, to be honest with you. I've just been a bit oversensitive. Everything kind of makes me sad. Everything kind of gives me the feels. I just haven't been having a nice fucking time, and it's been taking a lot of energy just to maintain like some semblance of like positivity and happiness. And it's not been working out super well for me. And I have all sorts of fucking random coping mechanisms that I'm still trying to like piece apart and like not exactly like psychoanalyze, but like figure out what it is I do and why. And one of my big ones is I've realized that a lot of the time when I don't feel like I have like the thing to be upset about or angry about or however I'm feeling, I just emotionally annihilate myself with something from my childhood. So I've finally noticed that this is a pattern, and it's one of the ones that I actually think I'm okay with. I actually think it's like somewhat healthy and okay. So I am going to like go into further explain because I haven't explained it. I just said I emotionally annihilate myself. So what I mean by that is that quite often when I don't feel like I have like a reason to be feeling as like negative and shitty as I do, I will go back to something from my childhood that brought me some level of joy and sort of I kind of know it's not going to go that well. Like, my latest one was Wild at Heart because it was written by the same person that wrote Life on Mars and Ashes to Ashes, who I have a signed script page from. But my parents started that back in 2006 when it aired, Wild at Heart. We watched the first 2 seasons and then we moved to Denmark, and I'm quite sure that somewhat inspired my parents to do so, to be honest with you. But I never finished it. We watched the first 2 seasons and we moved to a different country where it wasn't airing, and it connects to my special interest now. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch that and it's gonna be really fun. I really enjoyed that show. Then the mum died, which why do so many things have parents dying in them? That keeps happening to me and I don't enjoy it. But it was one of those shows where like it's your typical sort of like British drama. But I didn't react to it in the way that I react to British dramas. Like I usually really enjoy them and I will cry a little bit and be a bit emotional because I'm autistic and media is my special interest. But I was having to like pause Wild at Heart to just fucking bawl, like absolutely sob. It just, I can't even entirely tell you what it made me feel. I think I was grieving like my childhood and all the times that me and my family spent watching TV together, because like those were fucking special times to me that really meant a lot. And realizing when I was older that it was just my family watching telly in the evening and they didn't think anything of it was kind of emotionally annihilating. So it's this level of sort of reliving what I experienced as a child, because like I remember watching it and I've always been someone who is like pulled into the media. I feel it. Like I'm experiencing it, I don't just watch it. So re-experiencing what I experienced as a child, having the closure of actually going through and finishing it and watching the whole thing and not having it be this like weird unfinished thing from my childhood. And I'll also point out that like I know for most people it probably wouldn't be a big thing, and it's not like it's just a TV show, it's whatever. But like TV shows mean so much to me. And I've watched all Pretty Little Liars. Like if I'm starting a show, I'm finishing a fucking show. So having these things that were left over from my childhood that I didn't get to finish because we moved to a different country, I actually feel like, even though while I'm watching it, it's fucking horrible. Like, it makes me feel so much and it makes me think so much about my childhood and my parents and my family, and the way that I wish things were and the way that things actually were and how I wanted things to be and the effort that I put into trying to make things be what I wanted them to be, only for them to never get there. Like, it brings up all of that stuff in an environment where I'm safe and somewhat ready for it. And now that I'm talking about it, which is why I think I need a fucking therapist, to be honest with you, now that I'm talking about it, I'm considering if perhaps it is Yeah, like I don't understand an awful lot about like trauma responses. Like I've spent most of my energy learning shit about autism, and this is sort of like a new venture for me now, to be entirely honest with you. But I do wonder if it is sort of in the moments where I don't have a thing happening that I need to focus on, if that's where my past traumas and old feelings come up, and I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, I just feel sad for no reason, I just feel this way for no reason, I'm not feeling good. I do now wonder if it's those feelings that I've just had to fucking like, like most of my life has been a thing happening and I get like 3 weeks and there are things happening. Like it feels like that has been my whole entire life. So every time a new thing is happening, I've just about gotten over the last one. And any feelings that I have, any processing of that situation, any of that shit involved with it just gets put away to deal with the new thing. So I do wonder if when I don't have the new thing, it's all of the past stuff that's coming up, and that's where I'm latching on to things from the past to process those situations and emotions and to be able to actually experience the things that I probably should have been experiencing and reacting with at the time. But like I was never allowed to react in any way that was like angry or upset or any negative way. I was supposed to just suppress it until I was on my own to deal with it. And quite often, especially like in my teen years, I wanted to be watching my shows and engaging with special interests and doing things I enjoyed when I got to have those times that I should have probably been experiencing my emotions and actually dealing with what I was going through. So now that I've talked about it and said it that way, I'm pretty convinced that is actually what's happening. And I don't just have random periods where I don't feel good. I think it's when I feel somewhat safe and stable, so all of the past shit comes up and makes me not feel that way. And that's why I think having these conversations with friends and like people that actually know you is really important as well. Because like I've said a bunch of times, like I feel like I benefit massively from getting to make videos like this and getting to like talk about my experiences and then hear what people have to say about my experiences and their own and everything else. Like I do feel like it massively benefits me. But also speaking to the people that have like the context of who you are as a person and how your life is and just the general context of who you are, like having people I can do that with, and I still find it really fucking hard. Like I don't think that I would have ever started doing these types of videos if I had people that I felt comfortable speaking about these things with. And it's one of those things where like it's not even the people, like it's not individuals. It is, I've spent so long trying to do it with the wrong people that I don't know how to fucking do it, and it makes me feel extremely vulnerable and icky, and I don't like it at all. I struggle to feel the same like relief and release and processing it and feeling like I've dealt with it like I do from videos when I'm doing it with an individual person. I feel like I'm putting so much on them. Like I just have so many insecurities and fears and past traumas from having tried to do that with people that make it really, really fucking difficult. But I do also think that that is a better way of doing it. But back to the actual topic at hand, I've realised exactly how much it is a pattern for me that this is what I do once I feel like a little bit safe, is I find something to like emotionally devastate myself in order to be able to like deal with shit and to process shit and to get over shit. And I feel so much better about it now because I was like, am I just putting myself through like unnecessary emotional uncomfortability, like discomfort, and making myself cry and making myself have like a horrible fucking day for no reason, because like I feel a little bit sad, and like if I just went and did something to cheer myself up instead of watching a show from my childhood, would that actually be more beneficial? But I think I'm actually processing and dealing with things, and this is just sort of an autistic way of dealing with my childhood trauma now that I've discussed it. I'm not about to like scream from the rooftops that this is super healthy and other people should do it, but I do feel like it's one of the more healthy like coping mechanisms and ways of dealing with it and processing things than a lot of other things. And I've especially realised it's a pattern because of the way in which I return to things, I think. Like, I got a comment a little while ago that was like, why does your room look like it's 2003? Why can't your generation, like, find your own things or something? And number one, most of this is stuff from my generation. Like, a lot of this is stuff from my literal childhood. I'm 28 years old. Like, I was a child in 2003. This is my stuff. But it is also like I have the layer of like we moved to a different country and I had to just get rid of all of my stuff. I had a huge collection of China dolls. I had a big videotape collection. I had a collection of the little ceramic teddy bears. Like I was a big collector of stuff and I had to just get rid of all of my things. So being able to collect my bits again was like a big reclamation almost of my childhood and being like, yo, like no one can take shit from me this time. And we'll see about that because I still need to move house again and probably again after different topic. But you know, like that comment definitely stuck in my mind so much, not because it was a rude comment or anything, but because of my own like internalized thing of like, yeah, I have had to like sort of recollect my childhood around me in order to feel any sort of level of like safety and stability and joy and happiness. And also to like so much of my childhood is blanked out and I don't remember it. And I think that also plays into like when I'm watching these shows from my childhood and I'm almost being put back into like 9-year-old Dana headspace. Like I'm almost like it's almost like an age regression type thing, and I don't necessarily like remember what was happening to me during that time of my childhood. I often don't remember anything that was happening during times of my childhood. Like a lot of my childhood I do remember through the shows that we were watching. You know, like we started off with Charmed and then we moved on to like Life on Mars and Wild at Heart and the more like BBC dramas, a lot of Doctor Who. There's also some dramas that I remember bits of that I don't remember what they were and I haven't been able to find them, and that does bother me. I do really want to find them. And it's also been like, this is slightly off topic, but it's also watching these types of things that I watched with my parents as a young child has been really fucking weird for me because it's stuff that I would not have allowed a child to watch. Like even now, like a lot of the stuff that I'm watching that I watched with my parents as a kid, you know, it's about people being raped and murdered and affairs and cheating and like genuinely like fucked up like the terrors of the world, you know? And my parents were like, "Oh my god, why is our kid so fucking anxious?" And it's like, I don't know, hon, maybe because I'm 6 years old and fully aware that women are getting raped every weekend. Like you've unlocked the fucking Pandora's box of all of the terrible things that can happen to a person, and I'm having to like learn about it at six. Like I didn't even when I started my period, I didn't really particularly know what periods were, but I did know that you might get raped and murdered if you went out in a short dress. You know, like, and I think that has also been like massively beneficial to on like an inner child thing of current me being like, I wouldn't let a kid watch that. A little tiny baby Dana shouldn't have been seeing those things. I shouldn't have been aware of that stuff, you know? Especially when some of it's stuff that like me, 28-year-old adult Dana is watching and having to pause to have a cry because it's fucking horrible and my anxiety, my empathy, my fucking everything is on high alert. And just watching it on my laptop, I feel such a fight or flight type of instinct. And like, I'm not saying that's necessarily what I felt at the time watching this stuff, but it definitely all contributed to exactly how fucking anxious and terrified of the world I was at the age of like 9. You know, never mind as an adult that's had things happen to me. And with all of that being said, what often happens and what happened with Wild at Heart is I get to the last episode and I put it off for like 3 hours because I'm so scared of finishing the show and not having the thing anymore. And then I watch the last episode, and quite often, thankfully, they have nice endings. Like, I'm not going to spoil the end of Wild at Heart because I actually really fucking enjoyed all 7 seasons and I honestly think you should go and watch it. I think, you know, it's very well written, okay? But I have the thing of like I do that and I finish it and it's a nice ending and it finishes and I cry for like 40 minutes like sobs being hauled from my chest, like that kind of crying where it fucking hurts, like it's painful, like it's a big release, but it's not like nice to have in the moment, it's only nice afterwards. And then I feel like I've actually had some sort of closure. It feels like I've been able to close a fucking box that has been like open in the middle of the room for my entire life, if the room is my mind or something, you know, like not to be like, oh, my mind palace, but it just feels like something that has been open and that I've been having to ignore the whole time can actually be closed and can be ignored, you know? And like that's where I'm like, as much as like TV shows are my special interest and I love them so much and I adore media, it's a lot more than just that, you know? Like I can tell from the way that like it closes and I feel such a fucking relief and it's done. And like I'm not entirely sure what I'm processing with it, but I am definitely processing something from my childhood when I do this shit. And it's one of those things that's like sort of horrible, but the end result I feel so much like I say, like it just feels like something's been closed, like something just feels fucking settled and dealt with and done. So this has been another video. It's like kind of a ramble, but it's the type of thing that like, is this a thing? Like I'm really bad at Googling. I'm sorry, I am. And do not tell me to use AI. Fuck off. I I get quite a lot of comments telling me like, oh, you can just use ChatGPT for that. You can just use this AI. I'm not using AI, and I don't think you should be either, okay? I'm probably going to make a whole video about it at some point, but it's the type of topic where I'm very aware that people are using it as an accessibility tool, so I don't want to like outright shit on people and upset any individual person, but I do think like on the whole as humanity we need to not be fucking using it, thank you. But I would love to know if it is like an actual like trauma healing thing, if this is something that other people do, if this is me being really fucking autistic and making a bigger deal about things than it is. Like whatever you think about it, whatever you reckon, I would love to hear in the comments down below. See, I'm getting really shaky, and I don't know if it's that I am actually addressing like something that means something to me and is impactful, or if I've just had too much coffee this morning. But either way, I'm gonna go now. So you can like and subscribe here if you wanted to. One of my friends mentioned that their partner has 59 subscribers earlier, and it threw me back to the several years that I had 52 subscribers exactly. So it's fucking wild. It's always a little bit wild to me when I see the number of subscribers that I have, but especially when I remember the years and years that I would log in and see 52. It's insane. So like genuinely a massive thank you to everyone that has subscribed, and if you would like to, it does, like, I don't mean to care about numbers, and I don't really care about like views and likes and stuff, but like I do quite enjoy watching my subscriber count go up. I'm sorry, it's definitely some sort of ego thing, but it's the truth. So you can do that if you want to. You can also find me over on Instagram, Blue Sky, or TikTok. And if you really wanted to help me out, and also if you want to join the Discord, you can find me over on Patreon or Ko-fi. And that's me done now. I'm gonna go now. Whoever you are, wherever you are. Otis isn't here, by the way. He's downstairs in a sun patch. Otherwise, I would show you him. I'm tempted to go and show you him, but I'm not. You'll have to come back if you want to see my cat. You have to subscribe. It's the rules. You don't get to see Otis unless you're subscribed. Whoever you are, wherever you are, you have a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, and I will see you again in a couple of days.